Welcome to NASA Taisha. If you enjoy science fiction's brilliant, distant settings, interplanetary galaxies, alien species, and all of its magnificent adventurous factors, and are looking for a new show that has this all, then your search ends here. In this video, we will present the top 10 best new sci-fi web series released in 2023. This list will include practically all of the main science fiction shows that are worth seeing, along with a few popular shows that have fresh seasons. And not only are these the best, but the majority of them are also the highest rated series. Now let's start the video. Number 10, The Ark. It is a science fiction mystery series created by Dean Devlin and Jonathan Blasner. The only show on this list with a low rating is this one, and it's definitely not for everyone. However, this one can appeal to those who are looking for a mindless space science fiction story. The show is set 1 century in the distant future, during which time interplanetary settlement projects have started to ensure the continued existence of human beings. The primary plot revolves around the spaceship Ark 1, which, while on a mission to ensure the survival of humanity, unintentionally comes into the path of an unforeseen event. Following these unusual incidents, the surviving crew members have to rely on a shortage of resources to last them over an entire year, and on their newfound authority to deliver them to the destination planet. Overall, The Ark is a fine watch if you aren't looking for an entirely fresh tale, but it does have some good features. This story isn't perfect, but it's intriguing enough if you're looking for good visuals, classic spaceships, and likable characters. If you've watched shows like Expanse, this series will seem like a major step down. Therefore, set very modest expectations, and you could find this show entertaining. Number 9. Hello, Tomorrow. It is a sci-fi comedy series created by Amit and Lucas Jansen. The narrative originates in an old-fashioned futuristic world and focuses on Jack, a salesman who manages a small group of people who are in charge of marketing homes for the Brightside Moon community. With their bold promises to establish civilization in space, they try to sell moon properties and use their puny tactics, while except for Jack, nobody seems to truly know what these lunar colonies look like. However, Jack has a few secrets that reveal his and his job's true nature, and the mystery surrounding their job begins to come to light when Jack chooses to bring a new employee into the company. Though the show has some genuinely funny moments and a creative concept, it lacks both comedy and drama. The show gets off to a great start, but its latter episodes lost some of their charm, and you might find it difficult to keep up with the plot. Thus, the central idea of the show is what makes it appealing, and will actually intrigue viewers seeking out new, weird, and innovative science fiction. Number 8. The Power. It is a sci-fi thriller series developed by Ryle Tucker, Naomi Alderman, Claire Wilson, and Sarah Quindrell. The show takes place in a universe where women have developed remarkable abilities that lead to unexpected challenges. The primary storyline is about Mayor Margot Cleary Lopez, a mother of 3 young daughters who discovers the power. She is an early supporter of women, opposing ideas of building records of who has the power and who does not, while her husband is horrified to learn about a secret plan through his work. Meanwhile, Joes, her daughter, is going through typical adolescent drama and acquiring superpowers that change her family's dynamic. The show is well made, has great spectacular effects, and a powerful cast. The narrative offers us a number of plots that delicately bend a typical superhero story into a science fiction drama. At times, this can be difficult to watch due to the profound quality of many of these situations, but it definitely encourages a worthwhile discussion. Overall, the show has great direction, ensemble cast, and strong writing that delivers an interesting drama. Number 7. Black Knight. It is a sci-fi dystopian series based on the webtoon of the same name by Lee Young-Kyan. If you admire sci-fi and post-apocalyptic combinations, this is one of the best of 2023 and will meet your requirements. The narrative takes place in a distant future in which air pollution decimates the Earth and leaves it in a barren landscape. In order to survive, the surviving society must put on oxygen face masks and be dependent on an elite group of delivery men known as Knights. The primary focus of the story is a certain knight who is desperate to overthrow the rebel organization that rules this wrecked planet. In addition to its innovative concept, Black Knight is full of thrilling car chases and action scenes that keep you on the edge of your seat. There are 6 episodes in the series, and it's a very enjoyable and refreshing spin on science fiction. Number 6. Foundation. The Foundation story is so enormous and multi-layered that it is hard to cover everything in a short amount of time, but I will do my best to give you a general overview of the show. The plot takes place in the dying years of the Galactic Empire, when projections made by math scholar Hari Seldon point to the Empire's inevitable collapse. His estimates indicate that the Empire is going to collapse soon, and that peace won't return for 30,000 years until an entirely new kingdom rises. In order to shorten the 30,000-year gap, he established the Foundations, which are teams of researchers and engineers who remain at alternate ends of the galaxies to maintain beliefs and means of life, in order to ensure that the ultimate new empire gets off to an excellent beginning. Although the book and the series differ greatly, this shouldn't concern you if you haven't read the book. The second season follows developments as the Empire goes for a full-scale battle with the Foundation, commanded by Hari Seldon. There are clones, other planets, massive battles, aliens, and much more that will surprise you. If we ignore the few things this show did inaccurately, it is among the most magnificent sci-fi show ever made and is highly recommended for sci-fi fans. Number 5. Mrs. Davis. It is a sci-fi comedy drama series created by Tara Hernandez and Damon Lindelof. The show takes place in a world controlled by an artificial intelligence known as Mrs. Davis that directs its followers to perform assignments for it as a means to obtain strange rewards. But as soon as Mrs. Davis's influence grew and its purpose became apparent, it came to Simone's attention. The narrative revolves around a nun named Simone and her closest companion, who embark on a mission to destroy Mrs. Davis and must find a way to locate the legendary Sacred Grail. The show presents a twisty sci-fi story that is unlike anything we have seen before. Even though a few parts of the plot seem illogical, it is a bold, crisp, and complicated story that is worth seeing. Number 4. The Lazarus Project. It is a sci-fi thriller series created by Joe Barton. The narrative centers on George, who one day woke up to find that the year had been turned back 6 months, but nobody else appears to have noticed. Subsequently, George unintentionally discovers the Lazarus Project, a secretive organization that has developed a way to rewind time whenever the planet faces destruction. He is chosen by the organization to be their latest agent and works in an environment where dystopian dangers are constant. But things get tricky when he is forced to decide between being loyal to an organization that strives to safeguard the world or using its power to alter the past for one's own sake. From the bizarre top-secret organization to the vehicle pursuits, time loops, and dramatic world-saving mission, this series has it all. With its outstanding plot, action, humor, and intriguing characters, The Lazarus Project is a huge, bold science fiction adventure that delivers all the elements of a successful blockbuster series. There are no major negative aspects to the series, and it is a must-see on this list. Number 3. Star Trek: Strange New Worlds. It is a sci-fi adventure series based on Star Trek TV series by Gene Roddenberry. In Season 1, viewers were introduced to the courageous and fun Captain Pike Enterprise ship team as they ran into new worlds, went on epic adventures, assisted others, and overcame personal challenges, all while simultaneously developing a deeper storyline about a greater threat, which they ultimately faced in the final episodes. The first season also delves into Captain Pike's view of his inevitable future and his efforts to avert it. The plot of Season 2 picks up where the previous season ended, with the USS Enterprise setting out on new missions and encountering new, malevolent enemies. Meanwhile, some crew members have been split from the rest of the group for their own missions, while some new members are brought in. Fans of the Star Trek film and series will be able to relate to the characters and events, while viewers who are not familiar with the franchise will find it entertaining due to the deep space battle scenes, epic sci-fi adventures, and strong narrative. Number 2. Silo. It is a sci-fi dystopian series based on the series of novels of the same name by author Hugh Howey. The backdrop of Silo is an underground shelter where humans currently reside and operate more than 100 levels below Earth. All of this began when a catastrophic occurrence rendered the globe unsustainable and forced remaining humans to build silos to stay alive. But years later, people still have unanswered concerns about the outside environment, and their curiosity peaks when one of the survivors decides to leave the silo, triggering a series of unfortunate events that have serious repercussions for everyone within. The main narrative revolves around engineer Juliet, who is assigned to solve the chilling case and finds shocking truths that put their existence at risk. Silo effortless crossover between a post-apocalyptic thriller and grisly murder mystery keeps you hooked from beginning to end. Even though its major questions are yet unanswered, first season has addressed an enormous volume of material and left viewers with an intriguing and unexpected finale. Despite some predictable plot developments, the story maintains its mystery and intrigue in its progressively curious and deeply complex world. Number 1. From. It is a science fiction horror series created by John Griffin. This series ranks high on my personal list of the best shows of all time. This is one of those shows that you can't help but binge on because of how phenomenal its story presentation is. The most absurd thing is that, despite 2 seasons, the show's central mystery is still very much out of reach, which is simply crazy. And for new viewers, the show takes place in a town where individuals arrive accidentally but can't seem to leave. They are stalked by monsters at night and are only able to remain safe if they hide in the houses protected by a mysterious stone. The primary character is Boyd, a town sheriff, trying to keep the peace in the midst of all of this mayhem. Season 2 begins right after the previous season ended, where Boyd became trapped in an isolated location, while a bus carrying a number of people arrived in town without realizing what they were getting into. Season 2 explores how the town's older inhabitants attempt to maintain order with the newcomers, while the newcomers find it difficult to process everything that they see. This season does provide some answers to some of the questions we have regarding the night creatures, but it leaves us wondering about plenty more mysteries. Complementing Season 1, Season 2 ends on a high note that will leave you stunned.